welcome to the show. Don't let me. I won't take your time since the program it's on already. So hope you can hear me clearly.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
can hear you 100%. Go ahead.
yeah. So on the question you just asked now, looking at it critically, I think the best way for me to answer it is this. I think West Ham United and Arsenal they are not in the same category. I think we can just put West Ham aside.
They won
With
the
all due
European
respect,
trophy.
It's not
They
matter.
won an European
I I
trophy.
I
Don't put
I
them
I,
aside,
I, I
Lale. They
I
won it.
understand what I'm
And
saying.
oh, okay. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
I understand what I'm saying. They finish in the bottom half of the league around 16th or 15th year about. It could have been a disaster for them. Yes, I acknowledge the fact that they won what do you call it, an European title. I understand the fact that that was their first title in over 40 something years. But again, don't let us pretend like winning a conference league will guarantee you a slot in next year. The best
Champions.
the conference league, the best the conference league title guarantees them is a slot in the Europa League next season.
Uh-huh.
You understand? So based on West Ham as a team, you can score their season because of what they won, a 7/10. But that doesn't mean that they've had a better season than a
Then that's
United
now.
or Arsenal. So that's where I will put
Okay.
the European title is good for them on their own part. But now going back to United and Arsenal,
Yeah.
for me, I think the best way I look at this is which of the two teams. I think both teams looking at taking this back to the beginning of last season. Taking back to the beginning of that last season. If you have given Arsenal, what do you call it? If you have told Arsenal that they will finish second in the Premier League, they will gladly take it.
They won't
If you have
believe it.
probably, yeah, you understand. If you probably have uh, given United a slot in the top four, United will gladly take it.
Mhm.
So, but looking at their performance throughout, I think both teams, one way or the other, overachieved. But again, looking at the circumstances and the position both found themselves at some point in the season, they should be disappointed about the way the season ended.
And
Most especially Arsenal, because yes, nobody actually gave them the chance to even make the top four, not to talk of now competing for the title. But there was a point in time that the title was under their control, which they could have probably won. So that the way it ended probably was disappointing. But that doesn't mean they had a bad or a terrible or a disastrous season as most people
that's the
want
word.
it to look like. Just probably because they are throwing banters all around. But again, if I want to answer the question, I look at it like, okay, who is in a better position going to next season? Who feels more confident going to next season with what they have presently? I think it is Arsenal. I think Arsenal had a better season than United. In as much as United
Won the
probably
trophy.
won a trophy, I still think they have more questions
To answer.
to answer more than Arsenal. I think Arsenal have fewer questions. They have specific things that they need to address going into next season. They should feel more comfortable about themselves. If there's anything that can, of course, there is no team that is probably close to Man City. But if there's anything that can still see, okay, what are the specific issues for us to address
Address.
going to next season? I think it is Arsenal, and that
To
is
go
why
toe in toe. To go toe in toe against Manchester City.
that's why I think I just feel Arsenal had a better season than United.
All right, perfect. Thank you very much for that, Halali. What about you, Kukachi?
I know. I know you asked me this last week during our production call, and I was slightly reluctant to reply you. Apologies for whatever sound you could hear in the background. Um, it's very hard to quantify because if you're a trophy chaser or a ring chaser, obviously you have to give kudos to those who won trophies in
Uh-huh.
Europe, especially West Ham United. But the truth is that West Ham United should not be compared with Arsenal and what Arsenal was able to achieve last season. This was a team that is not as deep as City, but yet were able, and if not for their capitulation over the last 3 weeks of the season, will probably still finish second, but maybe not 5 points behind. So big credit to them. Comparing them to Manchester United, I think this is the only way you put it. Who brought more joy to their team, to their fan base during the course of the season? I know United won the trophy, and kudos to them. With all of the drama that was happening at United, ETH, Ronaldo, Mason Greenwood, and all that, them being able to eventually stabilize, because this was supposed to be a stabilizing year or stabilizing season for United. This wasn't the season to actually start challenging for trophies. So for them to get a trophy out of a supposedly rebuilding, and not in terms of personnel now, but culture rebuilding year, to get a trophy out of it is heavily commendable. But to Olawale's point, we probably saw United, with all their dysfunctionality, compete for the top four, not for the title. We saw them compete for the top four, but nobody saw Arsenal compete for either the top four or even the title. We thought their bread and butter would be the cup tournament, where surprises could be strong, but they held their own. Ultimately, their fallibility, because of how thin the squad is, did them in. The inexperience also of leading the table at the tail end of the championship also did them in. But you cannot say they did not have an amazing season. It was really not.
It's better. Arsenal had a better season.
I give the edge to Arsenal.
All right, I'll disagree with both of you. Trophy is always important. It's like a kid going to school and coming back from school with a present. You know, I can remember vividly when I was in secondary school, and I want to delve into that anyways. But coming back with a present just shows you that, okay, at the end of the day, you actually did something. You know, and coming second, nobody remembers who came second. So for me, and honestly, I will build on your point, Okukachi, where you said this was supposed to be a rebuilding phase for United, and I strongly feel, and I wish Sheyi was there. Sheyi said something about the tininess of the Manchester United squad. If they've had additions in January, good additions, quality additions, and Casemiro did not go on that suspension spree, we could have had something better coming from United over the course of last season. Apart from competing against Newcastle, at the point I think they were 5 points or 3 points away from the top of the Premier League, albeit having extra game at hand. So for me personally, because they were rebuilding and they could actually struggle to get a trophy out of the season, I will place their season a little bit better than Arsenal. No disrespect to Arsenal, they did wonderfully well for themselves, coming second. But the way they fumbled the bag at the tail end, compared to United had more excuses than Arsenal at the end of the day.
But sorry to interrupt you. I think you can probably the same thing you are saying of Arsenal, like the way it all ended. I think you can have the same opinion about United too, especially the way ETH probably handled the way he handled the Europa League what do you call it
game against Sevilla,
how they were outside by against Sevilla, because it's disappointing that after you defeated Barcelona and Real Betis, who are probably doing better in the league, and for you to go and lose to Sevilla especially in the first leg, in a game that looks like it was under control.
It was yours to win. Exactly. You went 2-0 now.
In the first 45 minutes. And after 45 minutes, you started, what do you call it? You just
remove Bruno Fernandes. Yeah. The game management.
The game management.
Unfortunately,
unfortunately, injury happens to what do you call it? What do you call it? This guy,
Martinez,
Martinez and
Lisandro Martinez.
in the latter part of the match. But again, United could have won. Mr. Martinez, sorry, but United could have won that game if ETH has probably left that team that started the game for a little bit longer, and they've gotten their third goal. And probably that second leg wouldn't have mattered at all. So, if United have probably won that Europa League, I will have comfortably tell you that
they had the better season
than Arsenal. But the way that was handled, I wasn't too comfortable with
but
that.
Don't forget that Arsenal in the same vein fumbled the bag against Sporting Lisbon. The same thing, it gave Kyo Jakob a baptism of fire against Sporting in that same Europa League. And one response to Yola would be Harry Maguire. I'm not going to say anything apart from that. Harry Maguire. That's the response to what he said. And of course, Jude Bellingham moved to Real Madrid. And people have been doubting.
I'm not a big fan of Harry Maguire. On most people's note,
It was unfortunate, but it's just Harry Maguire. There's nothing you can do about it. It was unfortunate, but it's Harry Maguire. I'm sorry to say that, but it's Harry Maguire. I know it was unfortunate. Mm-hmm. There was nothing you could do about the first goal. There was nothing you could do about the second goal. I think the first goal was an own goal by Luke Shaw.